Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. I honestly hate using the word woke. I feel like it's absolutely overused. It's gotten to a point where, to a certain extent, it doesn't necessarily have a meaning anymore. It's just been it was something that described something pretty well, and then people kind of hijacked it and just started using it all the time. But I think that's really the best way that I can describe this. This is one of the dumbest articles I've read in a long time, man. I don't even understand why this is considered a problem. I don't understand why this is supposedly newsworthy. I'm not understanding it, man. Maybe you guys can help me understand down in the comments below throughout the rest of this video, right? But apparently Wikipedia is not woke enough, man. There's not enough diversity, which is a big problem, right? Because, well, I'm not necessarily sure what the issue is. We're going to go through the article here, and it should, of course, give us a pretty good, I would say, rundown of what these problems are, what's creating this lack of diversity, things like that, man. I'm definitely looking forward to being educated in this, man. But before we get any further into the video, I just want to say that nearly half of you watching have yet to subscribe. I try to post multiple videos per day to keep you entertained, so consider leaving a like to help support and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss anything. Also, all of my socials are on the screen right now, so consider leaving a follow on these for more awesome content, and also consider grabbing a shirt if you're really awesome. Now to the rest of the video. If you're brain dead and you've never used the internet before, Wikipedia is one of the largest websites on the planet, and it's considered a free encyclopedia, meaning that there are millions upon millions of pages in countless languages that inform you about anything, pretty much, that you can look up. You want to know more about Tupac Shakur? Search his Wikipedia page, right? You want to learn about bottled water? Search a Wikipedia page for it. There's pretty much, it seems like a Wikipedia for just about anything and everything these days. Pretty much every celebrity that matters has one. Most historical events, right? You've used Wikipedia, right? Even though your teachers tell you, oh, don't use it because it's not credible. People use Wikipedia all the time. But apparently it is not diverse enough. There is a pretty huge problem with that on there, and we're going to go ahead and go through this article by the Toronto Star and figure out what the problems are. The most recent 2020 survey by Wikimedia, the site's parent organization, found that 87% of its editors are men. The survey did not ask about race, but almost half live in Europe and 1/5 in North America. Sarah Severson, a librarian at the University of Alberta and a member of the board for Wikimedia Foundation, said that the lack of diversity trickles onto the content from the site because it's volunteer-based, so editors will work on pages that they are interested in. Quote, you really see long articles on Dungeons and Dragons characters and you see an independent female artist having a small article, Severson said. You don't know what's missing unless you have diversity within the editor forces, she continued. When you have an editorial community that's all North American white men, they're just going to see different things. Okay, so the survey didn't ask about race, but it's being assumed that it's all North American white men. I mean, it's crazy considering that the article literally says that only 1/5 of all the editors on Wikipedia are actually from North America, and it's not 100% white men from North America either, so realistically, it's like, what, 15% North American white men, but it's all white men, remember that, of course. You see really long articles on Dungeons and Dragons character, and an independent female artist has a small article. Well, let's consider the reasoning behind that, right? If you're an independent female artist and you have put out nothing notable whatsoever, you have no record deal backing you, you have a limited audience, you haven't influenced much, then what do you expect, honestly? Like, what do you think? Like, someone's gonna sell 4,000 copies of an album and they're gonna have a full protected Wikipedia page written about them just because it's an independent female artist? Like, that, it's just not how it works. Or, if you want it to work that way, write articles about independent female artists. There's nothing holding anyone back from this, by the way. Like, you're bringing up this issue of, oh, well, why do Dungeons and Dragons characters get all this, recognition on there, but you can't get any female independent artists getting recognition? Because apparently, either A, no one's fucking listening to this person, so they find no desire to inform others about them, or B, the people listening to them don't care enough about Wikipedia to even edit the articles. It's quite simple in all reality. I don't feel like this is a mind fuck in any way. I feel like this is just blatant common sense, okay? 87% of the editors are men. Yeah, you ever consider that there might be a reason behind that? What is it that causes men to edit Wikipedia articles more than women? How come women online aren't, editing Wikipedia articles? How come they're not, writing informative articles about people that they care about or about topics that they're passionate about? According to the Pew Research Center, I looked this up just now, when you look at a study of internet use by gender, In the year 2019, 90% of US male adults used the internet, but 91% of US female adults used the internet. So here in the United States, at least, women actually have a higher internet usage share than men do. But yet you see this as an issue, right? Where the vast majority of the editors on Wikipedia are male. Women use the internet more in the United States than men. Why aren't they writing any more articles than men? Well, the truth is there isn't really any, I guess, hateful rooted reason behind this. It simply seems as if they just don't give a fuck. They just don't care about writing Wikipedia articles, which is fine. I'm not gonna criticize you for not writing Wikipedia articles, but when you come and you write this big fucking piece in the media here, making a big deal about it, pretending that it's like a massive societal issue when it's not, yeah, I'm gonna say something about it because that's fucking stupid. And then within the Wikipedia community, editors can challenge content that they see if they don't think that it's notable. Although Wikipedia readers are often warned to proceed with caution because it can seemingly be edited by anyone, Severson said, quote, "That doesn't stop us from using it as even a starting point." Apparently it does. I don't know what it is that stops you, but apparently it does. Now, keep in mind, Wikipedia is like an open source encyclopedia, right? You can create an account and go on there and make edits and whatnot, right, to pretty much most articles. Unless it's like been locked or whatever by the moderators, you can go on there and make edits. And people can edit what you put on there, right? They can provide more context. They can completely rewrite it if they think that it's fucking terrible. But the point of, and the great thing about Wikipedia, is it's open to everybody, right? Anyone can access it. Anyone can make edits, quote unquote. There's no, racial barrier, no gender barrier. It's not like, you get on Wikipedia and like you're creating an account and it's like, well, are you male or female? And if you check female, it automatically boots your fucking router offline. Or like, are you a white man as a question? And if you choose no, then they just fucking like kick you off the website. There's nothing like that. Anyone can go on there and edit. Anyone can go on there and do what they want. But according to these statistics, white men actively choose to do it more often, okay? And whose fault is that really? You know what I'm saying? If you have open access to this and you want more representation in these articles and on this website, then how about you stop spending time writing stupid fucking articles in which you're literally just doing nothing but dividing people by race and gender, and start writing some Wikipedia articles. Like, do you think that there's gonna be like a mass protest or something, like white men are gonna be marching the streets if more women are writing Wikipedia articles? Like, I'm not understanding it here, Severson said it's partly because it has an open Creative Commons license, so copywriting isn't an issue, and because the way its data is structured makes it easy to be picked up around the web. And so, quote, "If you have information gaps in Wikipedia, it echoes across the internet," she said. But the gaps begin before Wikipedia as well. Entries must reference secondary sources like books, articles, and analysis by someone removed from the topic, aka by an independent source, as opposed to primary sources like interviews or the person themselves. So the less media we have about people from a diversity of backgrounds, the less there is on Wikipedia and the internet in general, she said. Okay, well, you do understand why Wikipedia has that, right? If fucking Wikipedia accepted Joe Rogan's podcast with Kanye West as a direct source of information, that's wildly less credible than a published book or, biography, autobiography, something like that about Kanye West. There's an intense difference between someone online writing a fucking blog post and legitimate media journalism and legitimate writing and legitimate reporting of factual information. It's not some barrier set up to prevent people from, talking about diverse backgrounds and history and things like that. It's there to maintain a level of fucking credibility on the website, so you can't go on there and put a TMZ article as a legitimate source for something, right? And if there's a lack of books and information about these kinds of things, then start writing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is stopping anyone from writing books on shit that they're passionate about? Who's stopping anyone from telling stories and writing articles about shit that they find passionate? No one's stopping you. You can self-publish a book in 10 minutes now on the internet. The internet has made everything infinitely easier to do for the vast majority of people that use it. If you choose not to write Wikipedia articles and you choose not to, develop this information that you're complaining there's a lack of, it's becoming more and more of your fault. What is someone from fucking Nova Scotia supposed to write about an independent artist in Montreal, right? If they know nothing about that person, which, yeah, I agree with. Yeah, you're gonna see being a white man in fucking Seattle is probably a lot different than being a Saudi Arabian woman, right? Like, there's gonna be a massive difference, but All this article screams to me is racial and gender division. That's all it is. It serves no purpose other than to divide people based on these characteristics and to paint other people like problems, okay? Because, you know, people who agree with this article are going to read this like, oh, these fucking white men over-editing Wikipedia, killing diversity, silencing people, when that's not what's happening at all. And then on the flip side, you're going to see people who read this and they're going to get like legitimately angry, like, why am I a fucking target in this, right? And all it does is create more hatred. Like, this shit needs to stop. Like, you're literally nitpicking something that doesn't need to be nitpicked and dividing people along these lines in a situation that doesn't call for it. In reality, that's what the media does these days, and that's why I really don't fuck with them at all. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not editing on Wikipedia, but who really gives a fuck, and signing out.